Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
I have a question, Stuart.
Yes.
You talk about not being afraid to try new things or to branch out and not be afraid to fail. When we so should we push ourselves if we don't have anything particularly new that we think we need to try or new? Should we try to really find something to push ourselves in life?
I think should be tremendous inspiration to do something about yourself. The fear of just nothing taking place, your life getting stagnant, nothing inspires you anymore to work on yourself, to continue. That in itself should inspire you to do something about yourself, other than getting caught in that trap, because, boredom, lethargy, um, it's just an excuse for not going deep inside yourself and finding that which inspires you to do your life. So I don't know what's the answer to that. If you manufacture things to inspire yourself, that's not going to work. You have to go deep enough, let that energy, and it always attracts things that come into your life, always. And it also teaches you when cycles come to an end in your life and you don't hold on to them, you're able to move on. And, a door closes and another one always opens, always. At least that's in the story of my life. Waiting to see, this book I'm writing is going to be finished in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I'm just wondering what's going to take place. What is going to replace the amount of energy going in to produce this thing? And I'm sure it's going to be something. I don't know what it is, but it'll come.
I can't wait.
Well, it's coming. You can read it. It's on my website, 96, 7 of them are on my website. I mean, it really, and there's another, I think 11 or 10, or something like that, have to be still posted. I spoke to my friend Moray today, and he lives in Paris, and I have 5 or 6 of his paintings on as part of this book. He got all excited, and, very happy about it. He's a very good friend of mine, and he's a very great artist, a wonderful, creative artist, and visionary, visionary. It's not just painting landscapes, and but incredible vision and profundity in what he paints. So he got all excited and told me, he said, I reread your book about Rudy that you wrote, called Rudy now. And he said, I kept reading it, and he said, my God, this man should get a Nobel Prize for writing a book. I started to laugh. They said, yeah, 200 people have read the book. But it's true. The book is very good and interesting and interestingly written and very profound in what it talks about. So he went on for like a half hour about how I should get a Nobel Prize. I said, go tell the people in Sweden.
Hmm.
Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you, Stuart.
You,
Stuart, I have a question, Bob saying.
yes, Bob.
Should a cycle come to an end of its own accord or something else?
It'll come to an end. The energy has been used up in that particular cycle of your life, and it will come to an end of its own accord. Now, we have to be conscious so that we don't try to continue to live with the familiar, to live with things that we're used to, and we have to be conscious about the end of cycles, but they will come to an end in their own time, in their own, you know. I mean, spring comes in its own time, summer comes in its own, all the cycles of life manifest when they're ready to manifest. And internal cycles really function the exact same way. Our responsibility is to be so attuned and sensitive to these cycles that we know when they're coming to an end. We know when a new one is beginning. And we don't try to manufacture something, that sustains something that has no more energy. People do that with relationships, they cling on to each other, and the relationship died, and they still hold on to each other. They do that with their jobs, People spend 50 years working at a job that they hate. And why do they hate it? Because the energy, the inspiration, everything that inspired them to do it is gone. So our thing is to build an inner life that enables us to be sensitive to these things so we can let go. We don't have to hold on to something because it's familiar. And we can take chances in life, step into the unknown. And I've learned in my life, all creative energy exists in the unknown. What we know is about 5% of the extent of energy. So we have to develop a system inside that enables us to take those steps, not to be afraid, to make transitions, to open to something new to come into your life. Now, by this, I don't mean we get promiscuous with people we're involved in. I don't mean doing things that hurt other people, but being, just sophisticated, smart enough to know when, hey, the job isn't nothing. This project I'm working on no longer inspires me, no longer has energy, and to let go, to surrender, to see what is on the other side of it, to truly get inspired again, to, develop a deeper inner life. But they come to the end on their own, Bob. We don't have to do anything. All we have to do is be conscious. I remember I once, when I was younger, I told you, I used to study acting in New York. And there was this woman that I used to do scenes with in the acting class. She and I became good friends. And I used to go to her apartment with her husband, and she had a couple of kids. And, and we would rehearse these scenes, and I got to know the whole family, And, after I left the acting class, I was not involved in it anymore. I was working as a waiter in a restaurant. This is like 3, 4 years later or something. And I see this guy sitting there with this woman, and I say, oh my God, it's that woman and her husband. And I used to be such good friends with them. So I went over to their table, and my mouth dropped. It was the husband, and he was with another woman who looked exactly like the woman that I knew. It was incredible. And it was like, and I said, well, what happened? Oh, we got divorced. We said, and here he is with another woman who is literally the twin of the other person. Hadn't let go yet. Hadn't let go. He hadn't let somebody fresh come into his life.
Stuart and I have another question, Bob Sink.
Yes, Bob.
There are some times to where I really feel that I've finished a cycle, and
Good.
then it comes back, and there's a lot of resistance that comes up in that when I recognize that, how better to deal with that kind of a situation.
Look, it's the test of surrender, Bob. You understand it? These things do come back. But then have we developed in ourselves the capacity to truly let go? That's what it's telling you. You haven't quite let go of that old situation. So it means going deeper inside, getting stronger inside, opening more inside, building the strength where you can just let go. It takes time. I mean, there's a thing in this meditation that's always 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. It's something that is just the nature of it. You suddenly have incredibly deep, and then all of a sudden you're going and then instead of realizing that you're 1 step forward, we get all upset at ourselves because we went back 2 steps. So what you're saying is the same thing, Bob. You're 3 steps forward and then you went back a step. So don't get upset. Just use the growth to get stronger so that you don't have to go back that step. I mean, what makes the growth work is a connection with energy that is infinite in the universe. There is no limitation to the energy of spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. And connecting with that energy, it develops a chakra system that enables us to go 3 steps forward and 1 step back, but not allow that step back to trap us. And to understand that what we're really reaching for by stepping into the unknown is not another job and another relationship and another this and, a different way of eating. And, what we're really reaching for is spiritual enlightenment. And in order to attain that spiritual enlightenment, we have to really develop a sense of nothingness inside ourselves. We have to get free of ourselves. So connecting with that energy gives you the strength to let go of the past. Just gives you that inner capacity to just, hey. And then maybe one can take 3 steps forward and stay 3 steps forward, because they have built that kind of inner life that's strong enough. And again, what we're reaching for doesn't have a limitation. It's total oneness with higher energy in the universe, with God, spirit. To do that requires literally the surrender of everything. And don't get upset about that because, look, ultimately we have to surrender everything anyway. You know, we all one day leave the world and we leave everything behind. So it depends upon what our state is. Have we reached a place inside ourselves where there's really this sense of state of nothingness, this state of oneness with everything in the universe? so that all of spirit can flow through us and guide our lives. Now, this is a state of perfection. Nobody absolutely attains this, but it's an amazing thing to work towards because it keeps you growing every day of your life. And then you don't get upset if you go one step back. You know, okay, I'm human, you know, I'm not perfect. And you can smile at yourself and say, okay, I have to get stronger. I have to let go. And letting go, then always energy comes and it guides your life. As I say, that door closes, another one opens. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome, Bob. Great questions. Okay, there'll be class tomorrow evening. And again, you know, I keep saying it, you're probably sick of hearing it, but God bless you and thank you all for being in my life, for being my teacher, my guru. And I just am totally full of gratitude for what goes on here with all of you. And thank you for being here and being part of this. So I will see everybody tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you.
All right, Stuart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Stuart.
you.
Good night.
Good night.